Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the ChaddyTheChump channel, and this is an absolutely huge fight. It's a great fight, arguably the fight of the year, definitely the front runner for it, and it is Daniel Dubois fighting Fabio Wardley for the WBO world title. We've got the poster up right there, and it's a great one. Manchester Co-op Live. I'm going to be attending it. I'm so excited for this fight. Very 50-50. Don't blink, right? It's going to be a great one. It's a British heavyweight world title fight. Two British fighters. It is going to be insane. And we're going to be predicting it today along with the undercard, but mainly the main fight in depth, because I think Daniel Dubois is being heavily overlooked in this fight against Fabio Wardley. So without further ado, let's talk about it. So Dubois fighting Wardley for the WBO title, which Fabio Wardley did receive after the Joseph Parker fight, but he has the world title because of that victory against Joseph Parker, which was a very incredible victory. Not a lot of people had Fabio Wardley winning that fight, including myself, and he proved a lot of people wrong that night, right? He had Parker in trouble in the second round, and then in the middle of the fight, Parker did well, but then the stamina kind of went, and Wardley took advantage, and he managed to stop Joseph Parker later on, round 10 or so. And that was the win that really set him up for these big fights and to win the WBO world title. Of course, flashback to last June where he fought Justice Hooney and was 10 rounds down and got the knockout. That was big as well. And those fights have escalated him, and now he's in this position, right? So good for him. But this is easily Fabio Wardley's hardest fight to date against a proven Daniel Dubois who's beat the likes of Jarrell Miller, Hrgovic, Anthony Joshua in Wembley Stadium. You know, Dubois no mug, and I know that. And I know Wardley isn't. That's why this fight is so great. But I do think that during this fight and the build up to this fight, for the first time, Wardley is actually the favourite. I know, being the world champion, but Dubois is being overlooked. He's being overlooked in this fight. I think a lot of people are just saying Wardley, and I don't really know why, because if you look at the facts, Dubois, much better boxer than Fabio Wardley in my opinion, most people's opinions, right? Dubois, great with the jab, the footwork isn't too bad, right? He's a solid, clean heavyweight. He doesn't just throw, crazy punches and hopes for the best. I'm not saying Wardley does that, but he has a stature about him. He's got good boxing ability. I think that could help Dubois in this fight. Now, a lot of people do think Dubois got to come out banging and, sort of stop Wardley early, because those deep waters are tough for Dubois, but I don't think those deep waters are as tough as a lot of people think, right? Of course, the allegations, well, not allegations, but everyone says he quits, right? So if you want to look at the times where he's quit, it's first against Joe Joyce, where his eye was fractured, and that was really bad. Then the Usyk 1 fight, where Dubois was, getting outboxed. He landed that shot which knocked Usyk down, and that didn't count as a knockdown. He was getting hit with some, pretty good shots by Usyk, and Dubois ended up taking the knee. And yes, okay, you could say he quit. He did quit. He took the knee. But that's against Alexander Usyk, and Fabio Wardley isn't Alexander Usyk. And in the second Usyk fight, I do believe he just got knocked out pretty clean. That shot was a very heavy shot. And those fights were against Alexander Usyk. Fabio Wardley, no disrespect to him, is not Alexander Usyk. And I think Dubois could win either by knockout or boxing, right? And I don't think it's going to be like a chess match. It's not. But Dubois is a much better boxer. If he can use that boxing skills to land bigger shots on Wardley and not let Wardley hit him as much, that could prove a great factor. And he's got that on his side, Dubois. And I am predicting Daniel Dubois will defeat Fabio Wardley. A knockout is almost certain in this fight, although it doesn't always happen, right? The Parker fight almost didn't go to knockout. So I'm not going to sit here and say, okay, this is a definite knockout. Knockout is likely, of course. However, we could see a great fight go the distance as well. But my prediction is Daniel Dubois to defeat Fabio Wardley in the Co-op Live. Now we'll talk about the undercard as well, which is a very good undercard as well, very underrated. We'll talk about I'm not sure if this is going to be the co-main or not, but this is a really good fight, and that's Jack Rafferty versus Essuman. Now this fight is a big step up for Jack Rafferty, in my opinion, even though Essuman has lost to Catrell. That was his last fight in November at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But Essuman is still a great fighter, probably European/world level. And it's a step up for Rafferty, for sure, where Rafferty's been fighting sort of at British level, but he's coming up, so it's a really good fight for Jack Rafferty to prove himself. Can he beat Essuman? Look, Rafferty's last fight against Chelli, that was an amazing fight. That was a war, right? And Essuman known as the engine, but Rafferty's got a good engine as well, so this fight is very close. Another really 50-50 fight. But I think if Rafferty can land some big shots on Essuman like Catrell did, he could get the knockout. So I am going to predict that Rafferty will win this fight. I think Essuman's good and he has got an engine, but Rafferty could make this a war and win in that scenario. Another great Manchester fight in the light heavyweight division. Brad Ray returns to fight Liam Cameron. Both of these guys fought last in the Co-op Live back in November. I was at that event, and Liam Cameron got the victory against Troy Jones, and Brad Ray lost to Lyndon Arthur, but in still, which was a good performance from Brad Ray, right? It was still a good performance. He got a knockdown in that fight, but he couldn't quite get the win. Lyndon Arthur, very good fighter, very good jab. Brad Ray will be looking to bounce back, and I think it's a very winnable fight against Liam Cameron. Real 50-50 fight, this one as well. But I'm going to say Brad Ray's power helps him in this fight, and Brad Ray will take the victory in Manchester. He'll be pretty high up on the card. Man City are playing at 5:30, so a lot of the City fans hopefully will be coming to Brad Ray's fight to support him. They'll have to have him a bit higher up on the card so that the City fans can come after the match. Also on the undercard, David Morrell returns in unfamiliar territory, of course, in Manchester. If you told me a few months ago that David Morrell's next fight would be in Manchester, I'd be like, what are you talking about? But it is true, he's returning in a sort of nice warm-up fight against Zach Chelli. Zach Chelli coming up from super middleweight. Look, it'd be a great win for Chelli if he was to get it. David Morrell coming in this fight is a massive favourite though. I am going to predict that he does win the fight. And I think David Morrell, very exciting fighter, took Benavidez to decision, and we've just seen last weekend how good Benavidez is. So a nice warm-up for David Morrell, and then he will get back into things. And the last fight on the main card, Majid versus Gwynne. I'm looking forward to this one as well. Majid stepping up against a known British level fighter in Gwynne, who's coming off losses to Cameron Vlong. So he's a no-name Gwynne. And it's nice to see Majid stepping up now. And he could prove to be a really good fighter from Bolton as well, which is very near to me. So, good stuff for Majid, and I'm going to be rooting for him, and I do think he'll get the win in this fight. But that is the Dubois Wardley, or Wardley Dubois. I mean, both of these guys are on sort of the same stature as each other. Fight card, Co-op Live Manchester. It's going to be absolutely great. Sold out show for sure. And, you know, the Co-op Live, great location, biggest arena in the UK, and I'm glad that it is in Manchester. Now, comment down below your thoughts on this fight. Who have you got? I've got Dubois. Maybe you've got Wardley. Tell me why. And I'll see you after the fight when I do the review of the show. So see you then. Goodbye.